So welcome to this webinar. We're super proud of tackling this important topic for all our credit unions partner. It's how credit unions can better engage with Gen Y and Gen Z. And on today's call, we have two people. So first, myself, I'm Sebastian. I'm the founder of Solutions Metrix, who's a company who's operating in credit union. I'll be presenting briefly the business right after, but I'm also privileged to have Rebecca with me. Hi, Rebecca.
Hi, Sebastian. Thank you so much for having me. I'm a sales executive with Rain, and I've been working in some form of the financial space for the last 20 years. And I'm excited to be on the call today.
Excellent, super. Also very, very excited. Just a quick brief note about Solutions Metrix. This is not a sales pitch at all. So we work in the credit union space for many years now. We help credit unions in the community in digital transformation. That's a very large theme, and you will see today we're doing this webinar on more CRM aspect of the digital transformation. So you have these things about our expertise around member experience and how to manage the data on the digital transformation, connecting all those point solutions, operational efficiency, so forth and so on. So we're a consulting firm, so we're not the software vendor. So is Rain. So we're both services company dedicated to our credit union member success. And maybe Rebecca, a little about Rain.
And Rain is a full-service digital agency that focuses specifically in the financial industry. So, we know how to engage with your intended audiences and how to be fully compliant in a digital landscape.
Excellent, thank you. So first, why credit unions should engage with Gen Y and Gen Z, right? So some insight about that. First, we're going right now, and the movement that started, and they call it the Great Wealth of Transfer of $70 trillion that will be change hands or change generation before 2045. So if we don't have the right engagement with Gen Y and Gen Z, it could be that we're not part of this transition, not part of taking the fair share of engagement that we should be with that amount of money. So that's very, very important. It's strategic, right? And it's often in our priority list in the important but not urgent. So I know we're often in the urgent and important. This one is not necessarily urgent. We can wait a little. It is urgent, but compared to other stuff, it's not something that we'll get in our to-do on how we're going to do this. This is very strategic. And also there's a shifting in demographic and economic influence as well. There's newer generation is coming on the market and is taking more decisions. But there's some really good news. So Millennials and Gen Z, they are more socially responsible and ethical and attracted to ethical organization, which fit well with the credit union space. So we see that differentiator being leveraged. We're gonna talk about that today. And it starts, so that generation start now to be at a place where they need to take some decisions. So they slowly get out of the school system and being more present in the credit unions and as well the banking side. So how do we engage with them? What are the best practices? What are the different use cases? So that's what we're going to speak about today. And that shift of wealth of transfer, unfortunately, it's thrive or fade into irrelevance, because if we don't have that touch with those members or those potential members, unfortunately, they will go somewhere else. And as we're working with our credit union partners, we will look at their depositors, and they're more on the 60-ish, and the satisfaction with Gen Y and Gen Z is a little less typically, and and on the digital side, right, it's a challenge for credit union. What do we do and how do we tackle those digital initiatives? Because we know Gen Y and Gen Z are a little more digital. They love the branch, and we'll get into that, but in a different manner than how the current generation or the X or the boomers are using it or interacting with the branches. So we're going to talk about that today, but it's a very strategic, important topic for credit unions. Just wanted to set the stage. As well, how can we help credit union to solve some of your biggest problem, right? Regarding those Gen Y and Gen Z. So first, and this is a AI generated picture. We needed to put something about AI. So, and this webinar is about how CRM and marketing can help you engage better with Gen Y and Gen Z. And we're not gonna go from a theoretical, technical standpoint of view, we're gonna go from a practical practitioner point of view on how you can leverage both marketing and CRM in order to achieve this engagement level with Gen Y and Gen Z. And maybe Rebecca, you can present us the different use cases that we're going to present today, and we're going to talk about how to engage with or better engage with Gen Y and Gen Z.
Absolutely. So today we're going to review 7 use case studies, going over marketing to generations Y and Z, streamline member onboarding, transparency and trust. We'll cover education and financial literacy, providing innovative financial products, digital convenience and accessibility, and then also the user experience and omnichannels.
Excellent.
So let's get started. So this first use case study is marketing to generations Y and Z. And today we're looking at Ethan O'Connor, right? Ethan is a 23-year-old. He's not currently a credit union member. And he mainly is using his current account with his bank via the mobile app. Recently, he received a large inheritance from his grandfather. And so let's talk about how to engage with Ethan and members similar, or potential members similar to Ethan. So when we're talking about Generation Z and Y, these are generations that have grown up in a fully digital world, and they are spending a significant amount of time online, particularly within apps. So understanding their habits is crucial. And when we look at these graphs, this is really just showing you, their platform usage, their app platform usage, and how much time and how much usage they have within these particular social apps. So we're really getting a clear picture of how to effectively reach and engage with these potential members, and it's clear that we need to start that outreach in apps. So let's talk about leveraging the marketing. First we want to take a digital approach, obviously, and engage members on these platforms, just like TikTok, YouTube, Snapchat, and Instagram. And we want to utilize creative messaging that emphasizes that authenticity that we know aligns with Gen Z's and Gen Y's values and preferences. And this is a great opportunity to align your brand's values and transparency and authenticity in the member focus that you all have. So how do we do that? Okay. So these are just some examples, and I wanted to talk about a few different things, but one, design. So there are certain commonalities that you want to incorporate within your ads to help them resonate with your audience and include interest and activities that are going to engage or drive emotion in both the imagery and the copy. So in these examples that we're showing you, this is really just showing you some gaming examples of some common phrases that we know and activities that we know that these generations are engaging with. But it's important that you want to also match your market, right? So look around your market, look around at the individuals that are there, and include things in your imagery like diversity. Remember that people resonate with other people, so utilize images that reflect who they are and where they live, and design your ads really to reflect that market. You also want your potential members to interact with your ads, So you want to utilize compelling CTAs, such as learn more or contact us or get started, and use high contrast colors so that you're leveraging the amount of clicks on those ads. When you're talking about the product, you want to highlight the benefits that are going to help with buying decisions. So highlight those terms, conditions, rates, the ease of account opening, anything like that. You want to display that on the ad. But it's also important to utilize the one click away rule. So in digital advertising, you don't necessarily have to have all of the information directly on that ad. You can have it one click away. So keep your ads clutter free and utilize that one click away rule to your advantage. Then we want to talk about the mobile first approach. You know, when you consider where these platforms or where these apps are being utilized, the primary device that people are viewing these apps on is their smartphones. So design your ads for vertical and horizontal screens, but include attention-grabbing visuals that are designed and optimized for mobile viewing. You also want to match the platform. When you're designing your ads, you want to ensure that the style will match. You know, static ads, like I've shown here, are great for, you know, the Google Ad Network or gaming apps, for example, like Candy Crush. But when you're talking about TikTok or YouTube, which have a much higher engagement rate among Gen Z and Gen Y, you need to include video, and video needs to be short form. You know, attention spans are dramatically reduced these days, so it's crucial that you keep these videos short and engaging. So anything under 30 seconds is optimal. Ideally, anything like 8-10 seconds is going to resonate even better. And then you want to keep this message, you want this message to come across loud and clear with or without sound. So you never know when someone's volume is going to be turned off, and you still want your message to come through loud and clear. So utilize that. Also consider utilizing a brand voice that resonates with these younger audiences. So sometimes you can find member testimonials that you might be able to share some of their stories and use a little bit more of an authentic approach from a real individual in your video messaging. And lastly, visual storytelling. You know, Gen Z and Gen Y are drawn to visually appealing content. So make sure to include high quality photos, videos, and stories that will tell that compelling narrative. And then it's on to you, Sebastian.
Perfect, excellent. So how do we leverage the marketing, the CRM platform to do that marketing? So first, we always think at MRM, Member Relationship Management, or CRM, Customer Relationship Management, as a member or platform that will reside or the member information. Yes, but not only the member, the non-member data is there as well. So their digital profile as well. So what did they visit? Did they came on our website? And yes, sometimes it's anonymous, but at some point with some marketing initiatives, especially on social media, you can get some of their personas or even personal information in terms of first name, last name. Sometimes you will capture an email. And you can do things like progressive profiling to actually enrich this non-member data. To be able to do that, this data-driven segmentation, okay, those are my Gen Y and Gen Z, and see who's engaged or not, and try various approaches and initiative. And like Rebecca mentioned, the personalized content as well. So it's something that CRM does. As you have those, they call it nurture, and I don't want to be too technical here, but you have different engagement point in the journey based on their behavior. So that's what we call a personalized nurture campaign. And as well, we for years, and it was like this, and it's not like this anymore in 2025, but we do have, and soon 2025, 2024, is CRM is not only a place where it works in an isolated or siloed manner. CRM is not only connected with all the various systems that you have, the point solution like cores and LOSs and online banking and all of that, but as well connected with social media, the WhatsApp, the Twilio, the SMS, and so that's and you can automate that journey as well. So there's some interaction that can be automated. And this is what we've seen Gen Y and Gen Z like as well. And if we jump on the second use cases, because that's how we're going to articulate this webinar, is going through use cases. It's not technical, it's meant to be, right, practical example. So the second use cases is about streamlined member onboarding. So Rebecca, if you can guide us through the use case of Anna.
Absolutely. So Anna is a 25-year-old, and she joined the credit union for the first time following the acquisition of a new auto loan. So she values convenience and a personalized experience, and her day-to-day banking is with another bank. So this is, basically how we can utilize marketing and CRMs to engage with someone like Anna.
Perfect. And this is how. So this is how we can leverage a CRM platform for this use case. So we first, for onboarding, typically the onboarding process is tackled with the CRM. We have direct member, indirect member. Sometimes they come through a car loan, right? We have those new member because the interest rate. But the whole onboarding process can be tackled by the CRM and all the different tasks and the touch point. We see all sorts of approaches being it after 48 hours, 7 days, 30 days, 20, 23 months, whatever. So there's multiple templates, frameworks that exist, but all to say that you can leverage for CRM for that as well. All the document verification, we simplified it. So the communication challenge. So for example, instead I'm thinking of a pay stub, for example, it's very painful for a member to go scan their pay stub. So typically what we do is say, okay, you have the member on the line, especially Gen Y and Gen Z, and gonna send you a text. They get a text and then they can reply with a picture of their pay stub or driver's license, and then boom, goes back to CRM. So your authentication process is accelerated, and it gives, especially for Gen Y and Gen Z, a great experience. So all the mobile app is integrated, the omni-channel experience as well, and part of onboarding as well, so for example, if they come from a car loan, we'll typically have somewhere to pull their credit report. So either the loan processor or officer, but we have plenty of information in there that sometimes we like to capture in CRM. So an example would be they have a credit card with Wells Fargo. Somewhere at some point, maybe someone being an MSR when they walk to the branch or branch manager will say, hey, what about this credit card? Or, can we offer you a new credit card? But all to say, it's to personalize the welcome journey as well, based on where they are, especially Gen Y and Gen Z, give some guidance in their financial journey and have this exclusive offers that you provide them, right? Gen Y and Gen Z, they see it from, okay, show me you know me, right? So that personalized experience is super important. So that's great. And Rebecca, maybe about the marketing side.
Yeah, and again, consider which products she's already utilizing with her current financial institution and utilizing the data from your CRM, and use that to determine the additional products and services that she's most likely to take advantage of. For example, direct deposit would not be a good fit for an auto loan, but it would be a great offer once she finally opens up that checking account. So, for now, you could offer her mobile and online banking and show her how she can view and pay her loan online. You could offer her personalized checking, show her cashback rewards and customized alerts, things that might interest her there. Or rewards, debit, and credit card information, any kind of cashback or rewards for her everyday purchases. This might also be a great time to introduce her to some high interest savings accounts, or even leveraging your financial tools. So the budgeting apps, saving goal trackers, anything to help her with financial wellness. All of these items can really help to gain more of her trust and more of her wallet share. And that brings us to the next slide, which is about transparency and trust. So consider Sophia Jones. She's 22 years old. Sophia uses the app, the web portal, and the branch for her accounts. She's really concerned about security due to online fraud, and she's aware of the GDPR and the CCPA data privacy rules. So how do we engage with someone like Sophia?
Absolutely, and CRM help in that manner as well. So first, in CRM, there's multi-factor authentication, level 1, level 2, level 3 authentication. We even have things like non-member authentication. And that communication about what we're going to do with your data is also super important. So the clarity of how do we leverage your data. Gen Y, Gen Z knows that somehow you'll leverage tools that will, based on AI or other algorithm, recommend or give you some insights about their profile. I think it's known from them. And they are somehow okay with that. It's just the communication about what you're going to do with their data. So we set up this this communication and in a simplified manner so they can understand exactly how the credit union will be leveraging this data in a safe and secure manner, and also encompassing the facts that credit unions are involved in their community, so you're actually non-for-profit. So it's for the member benefit, and that's a big differentiator with, let's say, banks or mega banks, where say, no, we're there for the community, we're there for a member. Yes, the data we gathered from your various engagement and points of interaction will be safely looked at to better serve you. That's the optics or the sense of glass that we're actually putting when we're talking about privacy. And once it's there, we can leverage the marketing as well.
Yeah. And again, you know, Gen Z values that authenticity and transparency, and they can be so quick to spot and reject anything that feels fake or overly polished. So brands really want to focus on genuine messaging and real stories. You know, utilize clear communication with simple, jargon-free messaging to explain your products and services. And you can offer them educational resources for budgeting, investing, and credit management. You know, ensure you're clearly displaying any kind of fees, rates, or terms to help continue to build trust. And then you can also include messaging about the strength and security of the credit union in the digital channels. Basically highlight anything that really talks about security features like encryption or two-factor authentication, anything that really lets them know that you're taking their privacy, their online security rather, seriously. You can even utilize this to offer online safety tips for phishing attempts or credit monitoring tools and identity theft protection. So, you know, again, all of these products and services and benefits that you can offer them will not only help gain their trust, but also deepen your relationship with individuals like Anna and just, again, increase wallet share and gain their trust. And now we're going into education and financial literacy. So consider Jake. He's 26 years old. He opened his account online. He'd like to have a credit card, but it would be his first card. And so he has no idea how to use it or how to take advantage or how to use it to his advantage. And so this is how we can leverage the CRM for that.
Yes. So a couple of things. We have the profile of that person into CRM. We can automate the delivery of self-content best practices when there's a new card for Gen Y, Gen Z. What are the different communication points that we can send them, and being electronically through emails or even through different platforms. So an example is we use the Facebook Messenger sometime, and with the you know, agree or consent of that new member, right? And then we say, okay, just a quick chat to say, okay, how are you with your new credit card? Anything I can do to help? So that's very simple from a technical standpoint of view. And for the young member, the Gen Y, Gen Z member, it's okay, you know what? My credit union is there for me. So those are examples of knowing who those members are, automate some of those engagements, Again, and we determine is it after 30 days, 10 days, 14 days, we have different parties template. And then financial literacy campaign, like, okay, we see after 2 months you have a balance of that. We just want to make sure you're okay and stuff like this. So there's some education that will be that we can leverage from the communication capabilities of the CRM. And we personalize and customize that content as well for really engaged outreach. And then there's the marketing as well, right?
Absolutely. And we, basically we're leveraging this data to identify the product offerings that are most likely to interest Jake and members like Jake. So this could include messaging around the online banking and digital services like the mobile apps, digital wallets, and budgeting tools. It's also a great opportunity to introduce them to additional services, just like the credit card that he had mentioned, and credit score monitoring and identity theft protection. But most importantly, this is really an ideal opportunity to guide Jake and similar members to him to online self-guided educational content directly through your website. So this can include any kind of content on financial education, any kind of posts, blogs, even first-time homebuyer seminars, but really anything that's really going to let him, grow his financial profile and build that educational or that build that long-term generational wealth that he's looking to establish. And then moving on to the next case study is providing innovative financial products. And let's take a look at Sarah Roberts. Sarah's 30 years old. She just purchased her first home, and she uses the credit union's mobile app for those transactions. So she's exploring different financial tools to manage her new expenses. And here's how we can help her with that.
Absolutely. So first, the 360 member queue, which means it's a little of a convoluted term, but I'm going to try to give my humble or Solution Metrix humble point of view. Is first, the full 360 can be, there's a lot of system and point of interaction, but it's something that progressively we achieve the 360 by connecting maybe, we see sometime with our larger customer 50 systems. Sometimes it starts with 2 or 3, being, as mentioned it earlier, the core, the LOSs, and then the online banking, the card system, so forth and so on. But all to say is by having this 360 degree of our member, we know their communication, and we can identify what we refer to as the white space as well. So where they should engage and they're not, or that gap between where they are right now and where they potentially can be. So we, again, personalization, right? That's the theme with Gen Y and Gen Z. So we craft those personalized offer, relevant content, data-driven insight as well. So more and more we see in CRM some AI capabilities to be able to recommend, being it the next best offer or the next best product, what are the suggested offer we could do driven by an AI strategy and an AI algorithm, proactive outreach as well, and for sure some ongoing engagement. And as well is, I would say, the customer care side and proactive support to that member. And in CRM, very high level, there's the supporting the marketing initiative and the automated communication plan, engagement plan. There's definitely a customer service that is, and there's a sales part where we actually identify where we can go farther with our member and products. But the customer service, there's a bunch of frontline and back-end workflows and use cases that CRM tackled those days. So what we're saying here is continued engagement, be proactive with the support, be proactive with the variance in the data that we're seeing to not only like heavy dormancy, but even if there's some point of inactions that we should see or changes in the behavior. So CRM can say, okay, we're detecting here something. Can a human look at it and engage with the member if needed? So that's an important pillar in the CRM capabilities for proactive engagement, proactive customer service, proactive customer care. And then there's the famous marketing communication as well.
And here, I mean, again, we're using the data to personalize these offers and tailor these products to her specific preferences, behaviors, and needs. So, you know, communicate with these members via their preferred channels, whether it's email, text, or digital ads. Bear with me. Sebastian, could you hit the next slide? It's not working.
For sure, for sure.
Thank you so much. And so to further support Sarah, you can really identify her, you know, again, her interest in her interest through the activity analysis. So show her the targeted product offerings that would be most beneficial to her. So, you know, focus on things like home equity lines of credit, where you can provide her that flexible line of credit she can utilize for home improvements or those unexpected expenses. Or you could show her budgeting and expense tracking tools. You know, after all, she needs to develop a whole new budgeting plan with this new purchase. You could also help her with automatic savings plans. You know, who doesn't need to save for the future? You know, another option, another great alternative or thing to offer her would be customized homeowners insurance solutions. So, you know, maybe you can save her money from her current provider. Or rates are dropping. We just saw this last week. The Feds dropped the rate down about 0.5% in the United States. So, you know, potentially refinancing options could be something that's beneficial to her, or, you know, even if it's not today, could be something a little bit further down the road that she could take advantage of. And then, you know, you could always consider providing her some sort of loyalty rewards or cashback offers, you know, between credit cards and checking accounts, something that, you know, she might qualify for now with the mortgage. And lastly, a personal financial consultation. This is a really great time to look at her entire financial profile and determine if she's on target to reach all of her goals and needs. So, and next we have digital convenience and accessibility. So let's consider John. John's 29 years old and he wants to join a credit union for better rates and personalized services. So he prefers convenience and he chose to open his account online.
So how the CRM can support this? First, the online account setup. Typically, in talking NCR, there's some online process to open an account, sometime or even a loan, apply for a loan. But once we gather or get this information online, this is where CRM start by the process of getting that automated onboarding and making sure there's a thing called SLA, service level agreement, meaning we internally give ourselves objective to in time, right, in response time, to make sure that when we have a new application within X amount of time, and sometimes it can be 1 hour, it can be 30 minutes, it could be 5 minutes if needed. But all to say that the process and the task and the communication that needs to go out, some are automated, and the individuals that will be involved in that process or workflow or all the steps, and being it from back end, frontline, all of that is now managed through CRM. So you will get that CRM that drives the process, that is sometimes very personalized for the type of new member we have. And then again, we talked about authentication, document upload, facilitating the application for this Gen Y and Gen Z member, so they can, with their mobile or other digital platform, to really engage with the credit union in a very easy way. There's some self-service options as well, so they can go online and complete or upload or later different by themselves some forms and some information. And communication is key. So we see sometimes some of our credit union friends that say, oh, the member is calling me to say where my loan is, where are you in the underwriting or underwriting process of this loan. So there's some communication as well that can be automated, part of the member experience. So we craft that as well. We're leveraging the automation capabilities of the CRM to, again, it could be an email, it could be, again, whatever channel they would like to receive this information. Sometimes it's in-app notification as well. And they always have information, the latest data or latest status on where things sits, right? So they're not running after contacting or being the contact center to get the information. They have a way to access this information. And then there's a mobile banking side as well.
And then again, when we talk about leveraging the marketing, cater to John's preferences and present him with the various digital options to achieve financial wellness, including the online account opening and other convenient digital services that he's looking for. But you can also highlight products that offer those higher interest rates he's seeking, like the certificates. And lastly, we're going to focus on user experience and omni-channel. So we're looking at someone like Maria. Maria is 28 years old, and she utilizes the mobile app for transactions, like the web portal for loan applications, and she likes to visit the branches for consultations. But she's also looking to improve her credit score, and she's using budgeting tools to manage her expenses.
So we've mentioned it, it feels like I'm repeating myself, but it's very important. So omni-channel communication, that's what the Gen Y and Gen Z is looking for, right? It's not only web or not only email, it's really the omni-channel. And here in the omni-channel is not only the ability to communicate through a specific channel, but as well the ability to continue conversation across multiple channels. An example will be, I'm chatting with my, on the website with an agent, and I will say, okay, the agent says, okay, for this type of communication, where I can call you, right? And then boom, it goes to a mobile phone, for example. And we're not restarting from scratch the conversation. The history follow, right, into that conversation. And then when being it, their supporting care, whatever the interaction is, the history, not only it's captured in CRM fully, but from the different channels that could be. So I can receive an email and then at some point I give a call, then it's another email, and then we resolve it by chat because someone wants to check the status of that thing. So the omni-channel goes beyond just the ability of communicate through different channels, but the ability to manage the same conversation or the same request through different channels as well. And the change or flip of different channel is not an irritant here. To create this seamless experience, it's okay, I'm there as well. Talking about WhatsApp, for example, or SMS. So WhatsApp is something that's been used, and we can say, hey, here's the personalized channel if you want to engage, and then, hey, I have a question, can I? And for the MSRs or the contact center, it's the same thing. They receive an email, they get an SMS, they get a WhatsApp communication, they get a Facebook Messenger, same thing, or even a chat, web chat bot and stuff. But the CRMs today, they offer those capabilities. So to optimize, and plus, once you have a CRM, typically, because you have a 360, you don't need to go and log in 5 different systems and update in 5 different systems, right? That's the operational efficiency that comes with having a CRM as a platform, but as well, it's directly impacted and benefiting the member experience. And with Gen Y and Gen Z, I would say they're a little more sensitive in that type of seamless experience. And then, yes, in CRM, Maria was looking for some guidance in credit score and help to budgeting. So you will have the insight. So whoever she speaks to in the credit union, MSR, contact center, teller, branch manager, member specialist, they will have this information, the perfect picture, almost real time or quasi real time, plus everything that Maria is looking for as well, and some support in terms of, okay, what do we have that can help Maria? So when she sit down or engage or talk or chat with someone, we're there for her, and we can get that level of engagement and have the and provide her the tools, because we do have the tool internally as a credit union to support her in that journey.
And lastly, to leverage the marketing, just you want to ensure that your messaging remains consistent across all channels. So use the same colors, fonts, and images, and include them in your emails, print marketing, online banking, and digital ads. Utilize this uniformity to create a cohesive brand experience. So it doesn't matter where a potential member or a current member is seeing your message. Make sure that it's instantly recognizable regardless of where they're encountering it. So, basically you're reinforcing your brand and that identity, and that's helping to build trust with your audience. So, just keep all of those elements consistent across all channels. So again, it becomes a subliminal way to really just, reach and ensure that all of your marketing, all of your messaging continuously reaches and is instantly recognized by the individuals as belonging to your institution.
Perfect. Excellent. Excellent. So that concludes the use cases. So we wanted to give 15-minute-ish on questions. Is there any question? So I have one here that said, we're not a software vendor, but we keep talking about CRM. Yes. So we're agnostic in that matter, but you need a place to gather this 360. That's a fundamental into the different initiatives we talked about. If not doing campaigns like Rebecca talked about, you will have to extract tons of spreadsheets, then pivot table, cross-reference, and being it will take you so much clerical time to be able to create those profiles that it will become difficult to get to that level of engagement. So what we're saying is you need a tool. Now we're not saying which tool, but or naming manufacturer, but yes, you need a tool that does that for you. So you don't have to spend the clerical time and the mundane task of cross-referencing different spreadsheets from various systems. You need a data strategy, and that we do all the time. Okay, how do we going to bring this data to build a 360? And which platform we're going to put this information in? And on the market, it's called a CRM. Now, it's important to have that type of platform to enable the capabilities we talked about. So that's how we're approaching it. So I hope it clarifies. I have another question. You have several credit unions listed on your slides. Growth in these. Can you talk about how they've seen growth in this segment since they have been working with you? Yes. So I don't have exact number to say right now, but I would say all of them. That if right now you're looking at getting into a digital transformation, Gen Y and Gen Z, or sustainable growth or continuing member expansion is part of somewhere in your 3 to 5 year plan. And how the first and how they improve. First thing we do, they survey their member and they say, okay, for example, the boomers and the Gen X, this, they like. This, they don't like. Gen Y, Gen Z, this, they like. This, they don't like as well. And they typically are a little behind in their score with the Gen Y and Gen Z, and they put some initiatives that we discussed today forward, and slowly but surely progressing in that trajectory to better engagement with Gen Y and Gen Z. But I would say it's a fairly important strategic goal that we have with the various logos you've seen here in engaging with Gen Y and Gen Z and newer generation as well. And by the way, we're in no way we're saying this is easy to do or it's something that will happen in a snap of a finger. That says it exists. There's frameworks, there's template, there's best practices, there's approaches, there's ways that exist to progressively make this happen for your credit union, from the 150 million in assets under management to the 10 billion in assets under management, and anything in between, with different size, different length, different investment, different resources from the credit union that needs to be involved as well. We have another, and that one is for you, Rebecca. What are some of the not to-dos when it comes to communication with Gen Y and Gen Z?
I think the biggest things are really just not to make your messaging overly fake or overly polished. You know, be genuine, be real, communicate with them, and you know, show your engagement with that age bracket, right? You know, I mean, show them the value that you can add to their lifestyle, but be genuine about it and be authentic about it. You know, match what their interests are and their activities are. You know, but don't assume that they're going to bank like their grandparents did. You know, I mean, use a little bit of humor to help engage with them. You know, think about, you know, when you're having these interactions with individuals in person, you know, think about how that went and utilize that in your messaging with this generation. You know, just don't try to do anything that's going to come across as really fake or, you know, again, like overly polished. You know, these are generations that want real instantaneous communication, so use that to your advantage.
Great, thank you, Rebecca. Another interesting question, and thank you, Tracy. CRM and marketing strategy will eventually remove the need for individual profile management. Omnipresence will solve this need, especially with staffing, turbidity, and turnover. Do you feel this is accurate? And I'll start, and Rebecca, you can give your insight on this. We see the need of individual profile management. What we're seeing in this age is the augmented capabilities or the augmented efficiencies of the human. By leveraging those tools, the human that we have and our staff can do way more. So that's the objective. It's not to remove the staff, it's to give them the tools they need to be more efficient, right? And for example, that's how AI is now positioned those days. It's not to replace a human, it's to give human some tools to, or give the human a tool so they can be way more efficient. And here, for example, we use it daily, so there are some things we need to do. So for example, okay, in CRM, I see tons of notes, and so I can have AI summarize it for me and give me the key points that I can read in 10 seconds instead of reading a Roman or a book up. So that's an example. So it's like augmented capabilities or capacities of the human. So we're not seeing to remove the human from the equation. We're saying, oh no, it's a personalized human approach. It's just providing them tools to be more efficient.
Absolutely, and to piggyback on that a little bit, I mean, when you're offering this type of data to your staff and your workforce, this gives them additional opportunities that they can, you know, this is going to benefit them, that they're able to leverage this data in a way that makes their job easier and more effective. So, you know, by having all of these touch points, all of this information, in one available platform, you know, they're not spending as much time searching for things all over the place. And then when you're able to utilize this in marketing, then you're making their job easier because they've already had, you know, the potential member has already had some experience or messaging, you know, relating to certain products, so that it's not coming out of the blue when your staff brings it up to them when they finally get that interaction in the branch, because we know branch interactions are happening less and less. So they need to be able to utilize that that limited time and those limited visits more to their advantage.
Excellent. So last question, which is a great question, is for me, because it said, the question is, what exactly are you offering here? So it's a good question, because today was not a sales pitch. So we're not offering anything. It's not an offering, it's more sharing some best practices. Now, for that question, we're consultant service company, both our organization. We work together for customers. So there's no more, okay, this is here. No, we're one team working for our credit union partners. I would say just for this webinar, we're give us, you know, you're curious about, okay, how much does it take, cost, how long, resources, so forth and so on. We can engage in a brief conversation and show you what we've done for others. So we're not, and what we're offering you is the ability to articulate this into tactics for that strategy of engaging with Gen Y, Gen Z. Perfect. That's the last question. So I'm personally going to thank everyone for assisting this webinar. It's going to be recorded. We're going to send, it's been recorded, so we're going to send a quick email with the link. And thank you everyone for assisting. It was very, very insightful hopefully for you. And Rebecca, maybe the last word.
Oh, and again, you know, I'm just going to piggyback on what you said, Sebastian, but thank you all for joining with us today and taking the time to listen to our content, and welcome the opportunity to talk to any of you more in depth offline anytime.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.